Good morning, everyone. Happy Supercharged Manifesting Monday. Welcome to the start of another week. Time for some inspirational coffee and our gathering every Monday morning of our money family just to share in the presence of each other. One quick second, I'm going to check the comments over here. Just to share in the presence of each other, start the week off with some insights, some things to ponder, some things to do, some things to stop doing sometimes, but love being here as our way to start the week together. And this morning we're talking about manifesting advice. Good morning, Carletta. Good morning, Valerie, and all of you that are going to be joining. Um, and as I share with you, life gives me content. My life gives me. Hey, Heather. Good morning, Maxine. Good morning, Money Family. So my daughter has been home this week, and as I was thinking about what do I want to share, she's given me some content, some retrospect. Listen, for those of you who know what I mean by this, Mercury is in retrograde. I keep saying it. Everyone's like, "How are you doing?" Mercury's in retrograde. That's my answer. Um, I, like all of us, am subject to life, and life has happened, and it's been interesting. It has been interesting. So I see that, yep, looks like everyone's here. Hey, Nicola, good morning. So I have my daughter home, and it's been, having her here, needing mommy time, has reminded me of a few other times that she's needed mommy time and the advice that I give her. As you can imagine, my poor child, I say to her sometimes, or sometimes we're in the middle of a conversation and I go, okay, don't fire hose her, because there's so much that I could share. I do this body of work, I live it, and there's so much I could share, so much I want to say to her. And I find that no matter what, I have like a through line with her. I have one thing that I'm always, no matter what she comes to me with, saying. Those of you that got the email that I sent out this morning, I'm like, listen, I have a whole list here. She didn't win the game. Someone else got chosen over her. She's worried about not passing a class. She feels like she made a mistake and she's ruined it all. She feels like she's in manifesting her heart's desires. Life seems overwhelming. She didn't get the guy. Like, no matter what it is, response is always the same. And I realized as I was thinking about this, because she's here and we've been talking and I've been giving her this advice again, that this is something I've been sharing with a lot of people. And we just started a new group. And unlike any other time, this was the number one piece of advice I started the group with. So it's kind of a through line in my life. I'm having to tell myself this a lot. I'm telling my daughter, who's obviously precious to me. I'm telling the clients. And I want to have a conversation around that this morning. And it's this idea. um, Twyla. I don't even know what that means, but that totally distracted me. That's really funny. So here is, Mercury. If Mercury is in retrograde, yeah, it's Mercury rules communication. And I'm just feeling like I want to shut my mouth and go on a desert island. Let me just tell you, that really is how I'm feeling at this point. Because everything that could happen communication wise just seems to be happening everywhere I turn. And we still have to live life, right? We still have to carry on. So how do you handle it? Or what would be my advice when it seems like things aren't working out for you? Your manifestation isn't coming through, or just life. I was talking to my guy last night, and we were talking about topics for this Facebook Live, and his perception was all we talk about is money. And I go, no, we're living life. We have to talk about a lot of life things. And so I am going to bring it back to money, but really what I want to share with you this morning is this piece of advice that I give her, and that this applies to no matter what's going on in your life, whether it's money or something just didn't feel like it worked out. It doesn't really matter. This advice is true. All right. So here we go. You guys ready to type? I see that you're all on. Hey, Catherine. Good morning. Jackie says, just trust the process. So what's the number one advice I give my daughter, no matter what she comes to me with? Getting ready to type. Here we go. I want to see you all just blow up my Facebook with typing this, because that lets me know you got it, right? I know we can't write, so we can type, and that helps me know, okay, you got it at another layer. And when you type it, it's almost like my guarantee that it's going to stay with you. If you listen to it, you get it. If you type it, you get it at a deeper level. If you write it in your journal after this, you get it at another level. If you think about it and apply it to your life, obviously that is the win, right? But while we're on here, just by you typing it, gives me that reassurance. So here it is. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. And so I can't tell you how many times she has come back after the thing has been resolved, and she's relieved and she sees how it all played out, the puzzle pieces and the chess. We talked about playing chess as, life as chess yesterday, and trying to control the chess moves in our lives. And she'll come back afterwards and say, "Oh, Mom, this is what happened." And we'll have that, head on my shoulder, head on my chest moment with her. And I'm rubbing her head. And I always go, "Remember what Mom told you? Everything is always working out for me. Everything." And it kind of makes you feel like, yeah, for me. And that's it. We're all special. So because we're each individually so special, as the special people that we are the ones that things work out for. You are that person. That person that everything always works out for, that is you and me, right? So, yeah, everything always works out for me. That is what I want. There you go. Everything always works out for me. And so, I want to bring this back, though, to a very specific experience that happened in one of our groups. So one of my client messaged me, and she was very, very distraught because she had a court case pending. So this court case was coming up. It involved her child, and she had been working really hard to find the perfect lawyer. And she had apparently not gotten as far as to find a really good lawyer. And finally, she felt like she got it. She had it. She had a really good lawyer. They had gotten her a date. She was all excited. This court situation, this legal situation was finally going to be over, and she was going to manifest the outcome she wanted, right? So what she had been working on manifesting was a specific outcome from the legal system. And she needed a lawyer. She needed the right kind of lawyer. She needed to get a court date. So you can see it seemed like everything was working out so she could get her manifestation. And then like a few weeks before, the lawyer backed out. And so she was distraught, and understandably so. And so she messaged me about it, and I said, "You're using your human eyes to look at the situation and determine that a bad thing has happened. And now that you've determined a bad thing has happened, you're having this response. You're having this reaction, rather. You're having a reaction to say, oh my God, it's awful. Things never work out for me. I'm not going to win the case. That's it. Doom and gloom and just all the negative stuff." And honestly, I can understand. I've done it too. I can understand. This conversation is not to make you wrong. It's to make you aware, so that the next time you find yourself in this situation, you'll remember, wait a minute, pause. Everything is always working out for me. And so I just presented some things to her. It's like, what if God, the universe, source, decided that, you know what? I needed you to get this lawyer when you did, so you could get a court case, so you could get a court date. But this is not really the best lawyer for the situation. And I kind of need this lawyer to back out so that the right lawyer can come in place, or so that you can, after getting a court date and having your lawyer back out, already, at least it's already in the system, but you'll need to delay it so you can get, like, there's so many things, so many other reasons other than it's doom and gloom. But here is what I know for sure. When the event occurs, if you go into and you spend all of your time feeding into the negative thoughts that you're having, and the stories that you're telling yourself about this is something against you, if you spend your time feeding that, I tell my daughter, you're going to create something else happening, right? So you're going to have a reaction to an event, and that reaction that you have is going to create the next thing that happens. And so the next thing that happens is going to be a reflection of your reaction. right? So then something else is going to happen, which most likely is just going to take the situation further south. So now you're really upset, and you have another big reaction. And then that big reaction causes another thing. And I don't need to go any further. You see, it's this just constant domino effect of like, ongoing, not so happy things occurring, all because the one thing happened and you made it need something bad and you had a reaction, right? So I have been trying to practice for myself and telling my daughter, when the event occurs, I become really curious, and the first thing I say is, everything is always working out for me. I don't see it right now. I don't, with my human eyes, I can't see how this is working out for me, but I know it is, because manifesting is about ultimately getting your desires, and everything that happens on the journey is in contribution to you getting your desire. You can either speed it up or you can delay it. So what happens is, an event occurs and I could go, oh my gosh, I'm really upset, I'm really hurt, this feels really bad. And I'm not telling you that I don't do that. But what I practice doing is catching myself as quickly as possible so I don't create this massive reaction that creates more unwanted stuff. What I do is, I have my feelings, I'm a human being, and then I go, all right, but everything is always working out for me. And now I stand in that. Everything is always working out for me. I stand and I start looking for, let me see if I can see, even if I can see with my human eyes, how could this work out for me? And then I start creating some ways that it could work out for me. Maybe sometimes I don't even see how it could work out. It doesn't matter if I see it or don't see it. I've declared it's going to work out. This event is going to be part of how it works out for me. And because I have that response, I create something else happening. And guess what? The something else that happens is going to be a result of, everything is always working out for me. And sure enough, the next thing that happens starts to show me that things are working out for me. And then it just keeps going like that. And ultimately, it does lead to something working out for me, always, because that's what I declare and affirm. So there you go. Um, everything, yeah. Annie says the downward spiral. So Jackie, I love your advice. Something better is coming, Jackie says. Jackie has done like all of our programs, and I know Jackie says something better is coming. So that's another thing that I teach about is, yes, not now, or something better. Yes, not now, or something better is also another way that you could look at it. But to wrap up our conversation this morning, I really want to give you all the number one advice I give my daughter. Everything is always working out for me. When you have that response, you can see how the next thing that gets created from that is going to be something in your favor. Versus if you go, oh my gosh, whoa, negative response, you create a negative pattern of events, right? Okay, so here we go. I'm going to be reading from one of my favorite books, You Were Born Rich by Bob Proctor. And this is one of the examples I use with manifesting money that applies to this teaching this morning. So it says, you are working from a higher to a lower potential. What I mean by this is, you are working from thoughts. So first you have a thought, which is in the spirit. Then you have an idea. And then this creates a physical thing. So first it's thought, which leads to an idea, and then you have a thing. That is the journey that we should go on. But usually what we do is we look at a thing. We look at a result in our life, a physical thing that has happened. Then we form a thought, right? So then something happens and then we form a thought, oh my gosh, this is bad. Nothing's working out for me. If we form a thought that's usually negative after we look at a result. And then we create an idea. So it says, that is to say, most people will look at a result in their life, and then that results will dictate the thoughts that they will use to build their idea. For example, if they see that their bank account is empty, which is a result, they will choose to think thoughts of lack or loss. Then they will use those thoughts to build the idea of poverty. How many of us have done that? I tell my clients all the time, stop looking at your bank account, because the thought that you're going into with that, you're looking at your bank account, you're seeing the balance, and you're creating a thought. Oh my gosh, I don't have enough money. Oh my gosh, it's going to be an overdraft soon. Oh my gosh, whatever. It's not typically very a positive thought. If you know that's where you're going to go, then don't go look at the result in the first place, right? So it says, since the idea that they are holding in their mind must manifest in their future results, they are actually bringing about a repeat performance of the very thing which they don't want, namely an empty bank account. It thus becomes a self-doom fulfilling cycle they are living. And clearly, this is not the way our Maker intended for us to live. And I'm going to stop there. I'm going to read it again just so you get what I'm saying in relation to what we were saying. What I was talking about when a result happens and everything working out for you. It says, most people will look at a result in their life, and then that result will dictate the thought. So imagine that something has happened and you create a thought around it. You use that thought to build an idea. For example, your bank account being empty. They will choose to think thoughts of lack and poverty, and then they will use those thoughts to build the idea. The thoughts of lack or loss, and then they will use those thoughts to build the idea of poverty. However, since the idea they're holding in their mind must manifest, so you have a result, that result causes you to form a thought and an idea, and that must, whatever you thought, so you started thinking lack or loss or poverty, it must manifest. That thought must manifest in your future results. They're actually bringing about a repeat performance of the very thing which they say they don't want, namely an empty bank account. It thus becomes a self-doom fulfilling cycle they're living. And clearly, this is not the way the Maker intended for us to live. And so understanding this principle and this concept, that is why I have chosen to really teach myself and to encourage you to teach yourself. When you look at a result in your life, start training yourself, no matter how it feels, no matter how it looks. You know, we talk about it's an appearance. It is not real. Just think of it as you're walking in the desert and suddenly you're so thirsty. You imagine that you've seen something, but you imagine that you've seen like this massive lake, but it's not real, right? You have to tell yourself, this result is not even real. So I'm just going to look at it as if it's not real. And I'm going to declare what the truth is. And the truth is, everything is always working out for me. And because you declare that truth, the next thing that happens, the next thing that manifests in your life on the journey to your ultimate desire unfolding for you is going to be something in your favor versus the opposite. All right. There we go. Amiraj. I love it. So there we go. Yvonne says, all things work together for our good. Absolutely. Everything is working out. In the Science of Getting Rich, it says, be grateful for everything. Even the thing you think is bad, you think or you label bad. Be grateful for everything, because everything is working out in our favor. Everything is for our good. Everything is towards the manifestation of our desire. And I think it's just like when you understand that, you see, okay, I see how I've labeled things bad and I've reacted, and that's caused more bad things to happen. And that delayed my response. Like, it got me off track. So I want you guys to stay on track. Everything is always working out for you. Well, love you guys. Have an absolutely wonderful Monday, a great rest of the week. I'll see you guys on Thursday morning on Clubhouse. So those of you that come on Clubhouse Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, and go ahead and type the word reminder. Type the word reminder in the comments so that you get your message from me in Facebook Messenger. You will have to open it and click it, and that will send you the link right away for next Monday morning. All right, so go ahead and type the word reminder and then check Facebook Messenger for your reminder, and I'll see you all either Thursday morning at 9 a.m. or next Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern. Well, I love you guys. Have a great Monday and a great rest of the week. Bye-bye.